In this two-part crossover between the Shared Minds podcast and Underqualified and Oversharing, we're diving into a conversation that got Liam seriously fired up. It all started when he saw a video claiming that every woman should be a stay-at-home mum. For someone who grew up in a single-parent household and watched the financial pressures firsthand, that hit differently. In part one, me and Liam unpack the realities of being a stay-at-home parent and why it sounds like the absolute dream and why so many people wish they could do it. The financial world that we're living in makes it almost impossible for most families. Then in part two, we switch over to Underqualified and Oversharing, where we bring in your voices. We put the call out earlier in the week, and so many of you opened up about your journeys, from what it's like to really be a stay-at-home parent, to trying to become one, to the sacrifices and steps that you're taking to make it possible. We go through your stories, realities, and the honest challenges behind chasing a role that looks very different for every single family.
Two Gold Coasters are on their way to having the #1 mental health podcast in Australia. The pair helping each other through some dark times before coming out the other side to launch Shared Minds.
Let's dive into this one. I'm going to go shoes off, Joe. Oh, my toenail fell off the other night.
What do you mean it fell off? Which one?
From the hike. It was so bruised, this one. I finally got it off.
The second one or the big one?
Second one. Big one on this toe. Got about a week left and then we're gone. Yeah, mine is still fucked.
Fucking hell. No, I don't need to see it.
No, I'm just fixing it.
Oh no, all good, bro.
You're like, I don't need to see the dogs.
You don't need to show me. It's all
The
good.
dogs that do not need the bark today.
Nah. Whether this one is a Shared Minds or an under-over, we're yet to determine yet.
Yeah, we'll pick up by the tone of the video.
We'll figure it out in editing which one it's going to be. So, you got fired up about this video because it was a woman basically on a podcast and she was trying to, I'm going to say, glorify the thing of being a stay-at-home mum. And like, obviously, being a stay-at-home mum or stay-at-home father, if you've got the capacity to do it, incredible. It'd be great to do it, to be at home and raising your kids. But like, we're probably the first generation ever that will not be able to do that.
Financially, yeah.
Because every single generation prior, your dad could be a plumber. Actually, plumbers are really well paid even now. I'll use
Bricklayer.
Well, Dad was a house painter. So Dad painted houses in the back of Brisbane, and like Mum wasn't a stay-at-home mum for ages, but like you were still able to survive off one income of someone who painted houses. Like these days, people are having to work multiple jobs. Like both parents work multiple jobs and a side hustle to be able to basically live. And it's like that whole thing of with the internet and like stuff isn't always as it perceived. Like you look at us and it looks like that we're living a great life and everything's hunky-dory and sweet, but we have very bad days.
Oh yeah.
Very, very bad days. It's like when you see these influencers that are just traveling the world doing videos going, just quit your job and travel the world, go on holidays. That's fun. You're sitting there locked in it in your life. Financially, you cannot leave or do anything because you're locked into this job. You cannot go a single week without pay. And it's like, I don't know, it's the glorification of these lives that aren't possible for everyone.
Yeah, well, we put that reel on our story.
Yeah.
And I got a little bit heated and frustrated because you and I have both seen, I suppose, doing the show and in our personal lives have seen what happens when a parent becomes a fully devoted stay-at-home parent and there's only one providing.
Yes.
And it can come in financial abuse, physical in some altercations, and it can vary depending on the circumstances. But
Yeah.
what I took from that video, I got really frustrated. And a video has never lasted that long in my head. Like, I've watched it and moved on pretty quickly.
Even your own videos don't stick that long in your head.
I can't even remember half the ones I post. But this one just stuck in my head because I got really frustrated about it. And I was actually talking to the housemates about it.
Yeah.
Because it annoyed me so much. And it was because it was sort of like glorifying and promoting becoming a stay-at-home mum and basically letting your entire world revolve around your husband and your children.
Yeah.
And what I got really frustrated with from that was from personal experience watching other women and men.
You had a very close friend who went through this.
Yes, very close.
So this is why you're so passionate
That's probably
about
why.
this topic.
I actually know two people, but one was close to me that I watched it destroy firsthand.
You literally were a part of her life trying to help her out of this situation.
Yeah.
So this is why you got so passionate
Yeah,
about it.
I think that, and it kind of triggered because I was in the middle of it a little bit, and it frustrated me because it was this lady that is clearly married to a very successful man, and after doing some research, she was, and it was essentially like saying that, you should find a man and basically be a stay-at-home wife and be a slave to him and look after the children. And for lack of a better word, like I can't recite the entire video, and I don't think we can for copyright.
Well,
but
she said something like she goes, you've got to be a slave to everyone. So rather than being it to the businessman and the system, just be it to your husband.
basically saying, because, like women have fought for equality for the last however long, and like it's becoming better and better for women to get into these corporate roles and all of these jobs, and the pay's becoming more equal and all of this. And she's saying that if you're working a corporate job, you're a slave to the matrix and to the world and all of this. And she had a big reach, and the video had a heap of views, and I got annoyed because I was like, women and young women are going to watch this video and see that you should just go find a man that makes a lot of money. It doesn't matter if you like him or not. If he can provide for you, you should become a servant to him and have his children and look after them, and then not be able to provide for yourself. And like, for someone like her that's hit the lottery, and this guy has a very good job and brings in a lot of money, and she, now has an Instagram platform where she can promote that life and make it look good and glorify it like a lot of these other stay-at-home mums do.
Yeah.
She's like putting this message into these children and these women that this is a good thing. And like, I'm not saying that you can't be a stay-at-home mum, and neither's Kirby, because that's totally fine.
It's like,
But
I want to be a stay-at-home dad.
yeah,
Like,
there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home parent and wanting to do that.
Yeah.
It's more of the fact that it was the way she said it was like, go find anyone that can provide it. Doesn't matter if you like them or not, and then just do it for them. And that's what annoyed the shit out of me, because from personal experiences, I knew someone that had a couple of kids with a guy. I won't get into too much detail, but they were together for about 4 or 5 years. She ended up quitting her job, and they bought a house and moved and did all of this stuff. And the wheels started to fall off about 3 years in, and they rushed into it pretty quickly, and they probably didn't know each other well enough. And 3 years in, the wheels started to fall off. And
I thought it was like 2 years in.
well, yeah, it probably was. It wasn't long after.
It wasn't long.
And this isn't going to happen to everyone that does it, but if, with the, the modern dating world.
It's a personal story.
It's a
that
personal
happens
story.
to real people.
And and this guy ended up taking full advantage, and he did things to her that, she obviously didn't know about.
Yeah.
And when she found out, she couldn't really do anything or leave because she was stuck financially. They had obviously intertwined with their names on certain things. And when you're with somebody for so long and have children with them, you become 50-50.
Yeah.
So she ended up being stuck in this relationship for 2 years past when he started becoming abusive.
Yeah.
Physically, financially, mentally. And I watched it take a toll on her. And the hardest...
Not just on her, sorry.
The whole family.
Took a toll on everybody.
And the hardest part was having to watch that and know that we couldn't do anything to help her. And she knew and vocalized a lot of the time that it was not right. And she was
Couldn't do anything about
because
it.
she couldn't do anything
Couldn't
about
do
it.
anything about it.
She was literally stuck.
Yeah.
Because, like, I witnessed one time where they had such a big argument that all of the cards got wiped, and she couldn't actually put food on the table that night because
So he transferred all the money out of the
one account that they used the money for. So, well, they had multiple, and there was one account where he put all of the money into that she didn't have access to, so all of the accounts got wiped. So she literally could not put food on the table. And then the bills weren't getting paid, and the mortgage and stuff wasn't getting paid, and the car loans weren't getting paid.
And this guy had a tendency to kind of just boof.
Disappear.
Yeah, for
And-
like 3-4 days on end.
Yes, and she got to the point where she would laugh about it. And it wasn't she found it funny, it was just probably her way of dealing
If
with
you
it.
don't laugh, you cry.
No, and I just watched it destroy everyone around, not destroy. Like it's not like they don't talk now; they're fine now. The whole and it's come to a resolution.
But it rattled the whole family.
But it was
like
becoming
everyone.
Everyone around them had to suffer from it,
Yeah.
and that's probably why I got so frustrated with it. Because again, you can be a stay-at-home mum.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. A stay-at-home dad. But what I didn't like was how they promoted it to where it was like.
Everyone should just do it.
This chick's an influencer. Like 1 in every 15 million become an influencer. Like it's not that fucking easy. We've seen it firsthand. It's not easy. You've got to have a string of good luck, and you've got to put full effort into it. We do it 7 days a week. It's not where. It just annoys me.
And like as you said, influencer. This woman's sitting at home. She can take a selfie with a brand, and then the brand pay her.
Yep.
So it's like
and it's that easy.
Has an income still.
And I know of other people that have, thought that they can become an influencer being a mum. And if they were to post being a mum, they would become an influencer.
Yeah.
And not saying it couldn't happen, but it's one in
It's a very,
millions.
very rare chance.
It's a very oversaturated market because a lot of people are trying to do it.
We got very, very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
Very grateful that we hit that.
We created our own luck.
But as we always say to people who ask us for help with social medias, This episode is brought to you by Our Cow, Australia's leading online meat company, delivering 100% grass-fed, free-range meat straight from Aussie farmers to your door. For November, they're our main sponsor. Use the code SHAREDMINDS, all capitals, for $50 off your first box over $199. Big thanks to Our Cow for supporting the show and Aussie farmers. Skill-based lottery system. You need to know what you're doing, but you can't just know what to do and post a video. You've got to post that video 200-ish times.
Yep.
What did we... I even said to you one day, I said it'll probably take about 200 posts before one of them does well.
Yeah, and I think it was literally like the 100 and something post.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's off the...
We're derailing, but yeah.
But yeah, I've just seen like, it's hard for me to like... Because now that we have a platform and a place to say this stuff, again, by no means, me and Kirby can't have an opinion because we've never been a stay-at-home mum, but we've witnessed it from the outside in. And again, it's not saying that you can't do it. It's just I get frustrated when they glorify it on social media where it's like, drop everything, become a stay-at-home mum, and basically lock yourself into this life that you can't get out of. Like, and the men, and it's not all men, but there is a lot of men out there, and we've seen it again, like we've said, where they know that the woman is not going to leave because it's going to be too hard financially, career-wise. Like if you're a stay-at-home mum for 10 years and you haven't worked, when you try to go get a job, unfortunately, unless you have a degree or you had a professional background prior to that, a lot of women don't because they did it early when they're in their early 20s. And they get into their 30s and they're like, I haven't worked in 10 years. And then they have to go do a job that they hate, a job that doesn't pay well.
And especially in this modern day, whereas back in the day of parents and grandparents, once the kids had grown up, my grandma went back to work and just got a job at just a checkout chick at the grocery store. But that money was enough to survive on and thrive on. Like, it was granddad was working full time while grandma was raising the kids. When the kids left, grandma went and got a job just working at a grocery store. And the money that she made from that was enough to live a very good, comfortable life. Like, it's unfortunate that this era of this world is that that's not a reality. And as you were saying, something that I learnt the other day is that one of the main big repercussions and effects on this world is the rate of change is changing. So what that means is it's like things used to take forever to change. They used to take a long time to evolve and expand and grow. Like you think about when the wheel was made. How long did it take for it to become popular? When the horse-drawn carriage, it was horse-drawn carriage for years. Then the motorized vehicle come in. Then the internet come in and started going like this. So things are rapidly evolving.
COVID as well. Doubled property prices overnight.
But that's the thing. The rate of change. Property prices sat like this. They start every month now. They're going up like that. So if you get a degree, go off and have a kid, by the time you come back from maternity leave, your job has completely evolved because of the internet now.
Well, like I've seen it firsthand with my mum too. Like I lived with it with my mum and my sister. Like my dad was a piece of shit.
That's another thing that I thought about the other day.
And that's probably why I
this
get
is
fired up
such
as
a
well.
passionate thing for you as
It
well.
is. It
because you had a single mum And a sister.
Worked
So
two jobs.
Yeah.
Mum worked full time in the public service and then doing like 4 nights a week behind a bar in Canberra.
Yeah.
And then my sister worked full time at Woolworths, and like my sister would have to like help sometimes because Mum would have to. She was looking after both of us.
Yeah.
Like me and my dad stopped talking at like when I was 11,
And if he's listening to this,
fuck you, you piece of shit.
I love he's come up the last 5 episodes. Anyway,
And,
sorry.
yeah, and that's probably why I get so heated with it as well, because I witnessed it firsthand on that regard too, where it was like my dad refused to pay child support, and my mum had to spend a lot of time and effort to get to a point where he had to then pay child support. It took years. And
Yeah.
I would go to my dad's house with a heap of clothes, and I would come back with none because he would make me keep them there.
Yeah.
My mum would literally save up for months, like she did, to get me a motorbike. She spent thousands of dollars on a motorbike that my dad said he'd go halves with.
Yeah.
And then I took she said that I could take the motorbike there because he was meant to take me motorbike riding. The motorbike ended up at my dad's house and he refused to let me ride it. So it sat there and she paid for the entire thing, and then he lied saying I paid for the whole thing. So she worked like overtime, and just I witnessed him in some way do that to her as well. And then
Yeah.
because they broke up and he took all of the fucking furniture and he was emotionally abusive and he took
Yeah.
all of that stuff and took all the clothes off my back and all of that. My mum
Literally.
then had to work 2 jobs. And it affected a lot of people around us, and not in a bad, like, it didn't affect me like it affected my childhood, but like I watched it drain my mum. And at 40 years old, she had to go and work 2 jobs, and she had a very successful job in the public service, but then had to go work at a bar that night. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure she was a boss at the time.
Yeah.
But it was all because of, unfortunately, and that's the thing, when breakups happen, no matter how amicable you want them to be, they never fucking end amicably, ever. You might decide on the night, okay, we're never going to, let's not be together. Let's break away. And, it was great being with you for this long. And
All it takes is one misunderstanding.
Let's talk about the finances on another day. Like, let's just let this die out for a week, and we'll just come back from this. And then a week or 2 passes, and then one of you guys gets angry. And when it comes to the money and financially, it becomes an absolute fucking. That's where the bad comes out in everyone. And if kids are tied up as well, like we've seen firsthand, it does not end well. So it's like,
Well, even from my side, because I worked at the bank for a few months, I had like 4 cases where I was trying to help these parties be amicable about money and decisions and stuff. Same thing, like we had a guy come in one day and he's like, I'm divorcing my wife because she refuses to go out and get a job. And like, then you talk to the wife and she goes, he's financially abusing me and he won't let me go out and get a job because he likes to have the control. And I'm like, which side do you believe here? But then, like, I had to go through 10 years of statements to find $500 that this guy had put on the mortgage about 10 years ago. So he could then take it to courts and go, no, I'm paying more mortgage. And it's like, bro, she was at home raising the children. Just let it go. Like, she is going to have nothing after this.
100%.
Fuck off and let her just go on with her life.
You
'Cause
guys
she
did it
raised
together.
she raised the children. Like, it was getting me really fired up. And
it's hard. We've seen it in real estate all the time.
real estate all the time.
All the time.
Like the poor wife. And there was one that like we had where I remember you and me did this one together. They'd broken up. She had nothing. And she needed the house sold ASAP. And I think they wanted, I think at the time it was like 900 or something. And he had already moved out with the
another
new
woman.
partner and the new woman. She needed the house sold ASAP because she needed the money because she didn't have a job for 15 years because she was raising the kids. They wanted it was worth 900. We got offers of 900. And the husband was like, nah, I want $1 million. And he dragged that out for 6 fucking months just to make her life hell.
And he was working and owned his own business and had not all the money in the world.
And was
but
living
he
with
had
the new woman.
Yep.
Oh, that one I had to bite my tongue so
I remember
often.
him. Yeah, that was hard to watch, and it was all the time. And
And you couldn't say anything about it.
you
had to
can't
keep
say
your mouth
anything because you're
shut.
sitting there like, I had a few sales like that as well, where the husband just, and we're not saying all men are bad here either, but unfortunately, that's probably the side I've seen the most.
Yeah.
And, you know, these things happen for different reasons, and there's always two sides to every story, of course.
It's as I said before, there was the two sides where it was like...
No, there's three sides. There's his side, her side, and the truth. And they always get mixed up
It's
a
very
little bit.
wise of you, Liam.
Thank you. But yeah, we also got some voice notes sent in
Yes.
as well. But we don't want anyone listening to this thinking that we're shitting on women shouldn't be stay-at-home wives, and that's our opinion. It's mainly we don't like the promotion and the glorification of it online. That's really I don't know if it's because I engaged with that reel,
Yeah.
and I started getting more and more and more of them,
Yeah.
and then it started getting me thinking. Then I got more frustrated. But yes, I think that men and women can both do it, and so do you. But
Well, on that note there, it's something that I wanted to say earlier. The part that we don't like is the promotion.
the promotion and glorification. And
But-
also, sorry, I want to say just before I forget, I'm sorry for cutting off, is that they make it out to be like you need to, like, every man can provide for you, and the second you find one, grab him and latch onto him. No. No. Just because he can provide financially does not mean he can do anything else for you.
The thing that I wanted to touch on there was saying along the lines of, so they go, just be a stay-at-home mum, but she's an influencer. That's the same as Donald Trump saying, I've just started a business. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million. You should do it too.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
it's like, it's completely different, man. Like,
Yep.
you know, it is completely different. It's like, we used to talk about all the time in real estate. The only people that seemed successful in real estate were the ones who got the leg up.
Yep.
You look at this really young dude. He's in his 30s, super successful and making so much money, and you go, fuck, how did he do it? You then find out his dad was a developer, and he gave him his first 15 listings,
Or owned
which
the
then
agency.
snailed into the next one. The dad owned the agency.
Or owned a successful company that knew all these clients.
Yeah.
One in particular.
But
Not even gonna say.
that guy would then be sitting there going, be a real estate agent. It's so easy. You can make so much money.
And that's where,
You've got to look at
comparison-
it through the lens of,
And that's where you got to look at the comparison that can be the thief of joy. Is that
Absolutely.
if you're comparing your life to these people, 9 times out of 10, they got what they have from not ways that they're telling you.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we would look up to people in that industry. We looked up to people in this with the influencing and the podcast. And we were like, oh, you know, if we just put in the hard work and do this, we'll be, you know, like them. And then you find out that fucking, you know, they had a handout from somebody
Yeah.
else. Or they've been lying the entire time.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't
like,
end.
Even like, and I'm not going to badmouth him because I love him and I love his show. Die of a CEO. You look and you go, that's a great podcast going, he started from nothing and built it up. But then you then realize he had multiple billion-dollar companies. And when he decided to start the podcast, yes, he started under a table with his microphone, but he went, this is really fun. Go out and buy the best equipment you can. And they went and got $40,000 worth of equipment.
$60,000
$60,000 worth of equipment. Bang, started it, and they had millions to invest in marketing.
And there's nothing wrong with what he did because he ran successful businesses and he
Yes.
was. But when we used to look at him,
Yeah.
we thought that the story was, oh, he just picked up a mic and, you know, within a year or two, he became number one.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot behind that. And
Yeah.
not that it takes away from what he's accomplished because it's not easy, but it's like if you actually look into it further with all of this stay-at-home mums and husbands and successful people, there's always way fucking more to the story than
Yeah.
you think.
Because who's to also not know that someone who's a stay-at-home mum, their grandmother just died, who owned a $6 billion home down in Sydney, and they sold it, and she got the inheritance. She goes, I don't need to work anymore. Like, there's variance for everything.
Yep.
So,
I found a guy the other day, and I
Grain of
was
salt.
talking to a
Grain of
mate
salt.
about him the other day, and I was like, this guy is just like, I was like, he's killed it. Like, he's made so much great money in the industry that he is, and he's living the dream and whatever. And then I was talking to, and it turns out his girlfriend's family own like two of like the largest clothing companies in Australia. And he got into like the industry after he was with her and he knew all of these people.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I always seen him on holidays and I was like, fuck, he's killing it. And then it turns out that like
he didn't get it handed out to him. He worked hard, but he just got very lucky with the connections.
And again, there was nothing wrong with what he did, but I made the assumption in my mind that he started from zero and worked his way up and built this life. But then I looked into it and I was like, oh, and then it turns out he came from a lot of money, and I found out what his parents did, and I was like,
okay.
So before you look at these people and go, I want to live that life, do some fucking research.
Have a look at how they got there.
Because we've done the same thing.
And people might look at us and go that we're living the great, successful lives, but I was going to say they wouldn't know. But the thing that I love about you and me is that we're very open across everything.
Oh, 100%.
Is that we have worked bloody hard to get to where we are, and we've done 7 days a week, and we went on making almost no money for the better half of 9 months.
Oh, yeah, 10 months even.
But we were determined and we were driven and we made it work.
Yep.
And that's not saying that you can just go, I'm just going to start a podcast, pick up a mic and get to where Liam and Kirby are. And I'm saying we have worked so hard. It doesn't just happen like that. So, but yeah, let's get into the voicemails.